Kids and grades and learners, welcome to our English class. Once again, I am Miss Torres, your grades and English teacher. And for today, we are ready on our Week 5, Melt 18. For our lesson, we have critiquing a literary selection based on structuralist or formalist approach. So what are you waiting for? Let's dig in more about these literary approaches. In this lesson, you will be given the opportunity to show your appreciation to literature by knowing its structure and elements that make a selection artistic and creative. You will be exposed to activities that will help you develop reading comprehension and analytical skills which are beneficial to your everyday life. In charting the course of your journey in this lesson, you are expected to identify elements of selection through structuralist or formalist approach and appreciate the overall artistic value of structure and elements of the selection.
Structuralist criticism. In literary theory, structuralism challenged the belief that a work of literature reflected a given reality. Instead, a text was constituted of linguistic conventions and situated among other texts. Structuralist critics analyzed materials by examining underlying structure, such as characterization or plot, and attempted to show how these patterns were universal and could thus be used to develop general conclusions about both individual works and systems from which they emerge. While formalist criticism in literary theory, formalism refers to critical approaches that analyze, interpret, or evaluate the inherent feature of a text. These features include not only grammar and syntax, but also literary devices such as meter and tropes. The formalistic approach reduces the importance of a text's historical, biographical, and cultural context, and instead focuses on modes, genres, discourse, and forms.
The following are the major literary terms for structuralist and formalist criticism. First, plot. It is the sequence of events in a story or play. The short story usually has one plot, so it can be read in one sitting. There are 5 essential parts of plot. First is the exposition. Second, rising action. Third, climax. Fourth, falling action. And fifth, resolution or conclusion. Let's talk about the plot. Under the plot, we have this exposition or the introduction. This is the beginning of the story wherein characters, background, and setting was being revealed. Under the plot, we also have the rising action. Events in the story became complicated. The conflict is being revealed in the part of rising action. The third one is the falling action, wherein resolution begins. Events and complications start to fall into place. These are the events between climax and denouement. For the fourth, we have this climax. This is the turning point of the story, wherein the readers wonder what will happen next. Will the conflict be resolved or not? And for the last part, the resolution or the conclusion, final outcome of event in the story. The second literary term is the setting. It is the time and location of the story takes place. For setting, we have place, time, weather conditions, social conditions, and mood or atmosphere. Let's talk about place. It is the geographical location. It answers the question, where is the action of the story taking place? Second, time. Historical period, time of the day, year, etc. It answers the questions, when is the story taking place? Third, under setting, we have the weather conditions. Is it rainy, sunny, stormy? Fourth, social condition. It answers the questions, what is the daily life of the character's life? Does the story contain local color? Meaning, local color talks about the writing that focuses on the speech, dress, mannerism, custom, etc. of a particular place. And last, under setting, we have the mood or the atmosphere that answer the questions, what feeling is created at the beginning of the story? Is it cheerful or eerie? The third element is about character. Now, there are two meanings for character. First, a person in a fictional story, or the second, qualities of a person. Let's talk more about this. A person in a fictional story, we have protagonist. Protagonist, principal character of the story. Another, we have antagonist, or the opposition or enemy of main character. Number 2, characteristic of a character can be revealed through his or her physical appearance, what he or she says, thinks, feels, dreams, and what he or she does or does not do. What others says or say about him or her, and how others react to him or her. Character can be round, flat, dynamic, or static. So what about round? A round character fully developed personalities that are affected by the story's events. They can learn, grow, or deteriorate by the end of the story. Characters are mostly convincing when they resemble real people by being consistent, motivated, and lifelike. Example of this is in the Disney movie Beauty and the Beast. The protagonist, Belle, is a round character. She is fully developed and has several layers to her personality. At times, Belle may be caring and gentle with her father, but at the same time, she shows wit and strength when warding off the undesirable suitor Gaston. The next kind of character is flat, or the one-dimensional character. Example of this is in the Disney Finding Nemo. The sea turtle Crash is an example of a flat character. Crash personifies the stereotypical surfer dude in the film with his constant use of the word dude. This turtle is a minor character in the film and does not have complexity to his personality like the main character. Another kind of character is dynamic. Character who does go through changes and grows during a story. Example, in the movie Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry, the protagonist, has experienced inner conflict which makes him a dynamic character. Harry perceives that he shares some abilities similar to Tom Riddle, who begins the evil Lord Voldemort, and this makes him worry that he might also turn out to be an evil character. Another is the static. Static character does not go through changes. Example, Scar in the movie The Lion King is an excellent example of static character. Scar is a sly and a clever brother of Lion King. This cunning character plots to kill Simba and his father. As the film goes on, Scar does not go through any changes, keeping his personality traits until the end. Another element is the point of view, the angle from which the story is told. We have first person, second person, third person. First person point of view, story told by the protagonist or character who interacts closely with the protagonist or other character. Speaker uses the pronouns I, me, or we. For the second person point of view, story told by a narrator who addresses the reader or some other assumed you. Speaker uses pronouns you, your, and yours. Third person point of view, story told by a narrator who sees all the action. Speaker uses the pronoun he, she, it, they, his, hers, its, and theirs. This person may be a character in the story. And now, I think everyone is ready to answer our learning task 1. For our learning task 1, you are going to complete the crossword puzzle by filling in a word that fits each clue. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. You may also see pages 2 to 3 of your learning activity sheets for the puzzle. If you want, you may also cut the picture of the puzzle and paste it on the separate sheet of paper. In order to answer our next activity, you are going to read the story The Necklace by J.D. Maupassant and take note of the significant events that happened in the story. You may see pages 3 to 6 of your learning activity sheets. I also have your reference of a video wherein you can watch the story The Necklace by J.D. Maupassant. Right after that, you are now going to accomplish the table below to have an overall grasp of the short story, The Necklace, using the Structuralist and Formalist approach. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. And that's all for this week lesson. Once again, I am Miss Torres, leaving you a quotation from Robin Sharma. Every great finish was once a simple beginning. Start now. Thank you and have a nice day. God bless everyone.